These are the top 5 gym habits every actor needs to see life-changing results. Welcome to the Powerful Performer podcast, the show that's helping actors all around the world build a blockbuster body, red carpet confidence, and that all-important main character energy so they can get camera ready and build the career that they've always wanted. Today, I'm going to run you through the rapid results cheat sheet. And I first want to cover, why is there a need for this session? Well, let's get into it. Often we can get stuck in our own groove. Nothing's backed up by science. Everything feels a little bit stagnated. Our body stalls, our body plateaus, nothing's happening. We stop enjoying fitness, which is absolutely huge. And the biggest thing for me, which happened probably 10 years ago, is that our body, after years and years, still looks exactly the same, if not even worse, because it can get detrained. So I'm going to run you through exactly how you can see results after results as an actor every single week. So what do we want? We simply want to see constant progress. Why? Because it's the best feeling in the goddamn world. We want to find a plan which is based off science, not what feels good. We also want to enjoy the journey. That's the most important part, because when we enjoy it, it's going to become part of our lifestyle, and then we're going to be consistent instead of the kind of flip-flopping on and off our fitness journey. And the biggest why here is so we can fulfill our true potential and essentially live life on our terms. I have a saying, and I talk to the Powerful Performers every single week, and pretty much I say this all the time: your fitness journey should complement your life instead of complicate it. And as soon as it is complicating it, then of course you're not going to do it, because it just doesn't feel very good. So today we're going to run through the rapid results cheat sheet, and it's going to be very interactive. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm actually on video, so if you want to head over to Spotify or YouTube, you can actually see the presentation that I'm doing, and we can get a little bit more interactive about things. So I want to introduce you to our boy, our powerful performer, Alex Whiteleather, who had a busy job. He moved from America to England. He tried CrossFit. He tried nutritionists, and he just wasn't seeing any results at all. And if you can see the picture, he looks very, very different. He's now 10 kg of body fat down. He's doubled his deadlift, and more importantly, he enjoys fitness again, which is the win-win. And you too can do exactly this by following the rapid result cheat sheet. So picture your results like a bullseye, like you're throwing darts, and you want to be getting all of the right points at every time to see constant results. If one of these are missing, you throw a dart and you miss, unfortunately, you're not going to be progressing, and you're not going to be seeing results in the gym week after week. And you can see it here. The first one is optimized muscle protein synthesis. The process of you building new muscle tissue is called muscle protein synthesis, and you want to be able to know how to optimize that, and that's what we're going to go through today. The second thing is quality technique. If you're going for quantity over quality, you're always going to be a million miles away. So you need to get your technique absolutely spot on, and I'm sure this is nothing you've heard before, but once you can get that quality, then you can absolutely fly to the moon with your fitness. The third thing then is proximity to failure. What is the right intensity you need to be working at for growing muscle and actually seeing results in the gym? We're going to cover it today. And then the fourth, well, there's 5 things actually, but the fourth thing on here, which is the biggest, is progressive overload. You might have heard it, but we're going to go into detail about what it is, how you can utilize it every single week, because this, quite frankly, changed the game for me. And then the fifth thing, which isn't on here, is consistency. None of this matters if you haven't got a plan that you can be consistent in. And then if you're really consistent but you're not seeing any results, it's because you haven't got these 4 things here. So I want you to give yourself a traffic light, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here with progressive overload, which is adding more stress and stimulus to the body each week, which makes it harder, and it makes your body adapt, change, and grow. Would you give it a green, which is you're absolutely winning, you're absolutely doing it every single week? Is amber, you kind of know what it is, but you're sort of not quite following a plan. You're kind of making up your workouts, so you think you're doing it on, say, the bench press, but you're not doing it very well. It means you're kind of stalling. Or red here, you don't have a clue what it is. It sounds sciencey, it sounds complicated, and if so, this could be a big reason why you aren't seeing results. Instead of stalling, we'll put regressing, and then do the same with proximity to failure. Are you green, amber, or red? Quality of technique, again, do you know what you're doing? Do you know that you're getting nice and deep within the squat, or do you think that your technique could use a bit of work, or are you a total beginner and you don't have a clue what you're doing at all? And then optimized muscle protein synthesis. Again, is this just absolute gobbledygook? Do you have a clue what it is? Or you're like, yes, I absolutely know exactly what I'm doing with my training splits. I know exactly what I'm doing with my nutrition. Again, are you green? Are you amber? Or are you red? And for all of this to take place, and then do it for the fifth one as well, consistency. Are you super consistent? Are you sometimes consistent? Or are you never consistent? If you are amber or red in any of these areas, this is why you could be watching this. And our work today is to get you from red or amber into green in all of these things. So let's go through the 5 key principles. First of all, I want you to review your results. And in order for you to review your results, you're gonna have to track your data. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be loads and loads of stuff. All you need to do is simply track your lifts on notes or on an app every single week so you can beat your score from that past week. We want to gamify it. Okay, you've got 10 reps at 50 kg on the bench press. How can we get 11 reps next week? That's a form of progressive overload. So if you can review your results and then try and gamify it and beat your score next week, you are using progressive overload. And like I said, that has been the biggest thing that's helped me. And in the science-based community, they say that progressive overload is the single biggest thing that you need to do in the weights room, in the gym, or even if you aren't in the gym, even if you're doing bodyweight stuff, you have to be utilizing progressive overload in your training if you want your body to adapt, change, and grow. I like thinking about muscle. This is a bit weird. I like to think about muscle like designer handbags. They're a nice to have. They're not a need to have. They're not a necessity. And that's like that with muscle. You have to force your body to actually adapt, to actually change. Then you have to eat, you have to recover, so you can force that body to grow more muscle tissue. What happens with progressive overload? When you're giving it more stimulus, it panics and it has to adapt and it has to change, it has to grow because it thinks you're trying to kill it. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to give it organized stress every single week. And I like to use the analogy of knocking in a cricket bat. I don't know if you've ever done cricket, but you get a cricket bat. I used to play it as a kid, and you'd get a mallet and you'd just be gently tapping it every single week to make that bat stronger. If I went to play a cricket game with a really hard ball and I didn't knock it in, I would crack the bat. And that's like if you go into the gym and you're not slowly using progressive overload, you're just going to injure yourself. Or if I was just kind of gently knocking in the bat, like a little bit every single week, and I wasn't giving it any more oomph every single week, the bat wouldn't get stronger. And it's exactly the same with your body. Let me know if that analogy helps. I really don't know if it does. So review results, that's the first thing, really important. The next thing is intensify your lift. You need to know what is the right intensity for your body to see results without you burning out. If you're going on old bro science bodybuilder who are going to failure all the time, the science says the nearer to failure we can push our body, yes, we'll grow more muscle. But as an actor working on set, on stage, auditioning, rehearsals, you can't be burnt out because you're expending so much energy. You need to know what the right intensity is for your body to see results whilst not burning out, whilst not getting ill. Because if you're ill, if you're injured, you can't do what you love, you can't work. So intensify your lifts. And the science says proximity to failure is 0 to 3 reps in reserve. What is a rep in reserve? If you're doing the bench press and we give you 10 repetitions and you're working at 3 reps in reserve, it means that you're getting to the 10 reps, and after the 10 reps you go, do you know what, I could have done around 3 more repetitions at an absolute push. If you're at 4 reps in reserve, then you're working too light. You need to add more weight on the bar. You need to get more intense. But 0 to 3 reps in reserve is the perfect proximity to failure, is the perfect amount of intensity anywhere from there. So it means, okay, you're having a bad day, you're not feeling so good at the moment, go to 3 reps in reserve. Okay, you're working at your absolute optimal, you're firing on all cylinders, you're an absolute beast. Try taking a set to failure, or maybe do 1 rep in reserve. I'd say the biggest mistake I made as an actor working on stage doing 8 shows a week was that I was constantly, every single set, trying to take my body to failure. And yes, it adapted at first. I saw great results, but then it hit a limit. I'm in far better shape now and I work out less, and I don't work as hard. It's a weird concept, but it just shows that proximity to failure of 0 to 3 reps is really a thing. And think about it like an elastic band. you want to just stretch that elastic band, but you can't stretch it too far, else it'll snap. And if you don't stretch it at all, you're not really testing it. So think about proximity to failure. Again, I don't know if these analogies help. Let me know in comments. But the more, you've got to give it the right amount of stretch. You've got to give it the right amount of intensity for your body, for your muscles to adapt, change, and grow. The third thing is qualify your quality. You've got to get someone to go, do you know what? You're actually good there, or you're a little bit off it. It could be a personal trainer on the Powerful Performer program, which is the program that me and my fiance have built, which it sounds like a plug. We help performers all around the world get in camera ready shape, whatever. But one of the things we ask them every single week is to send through their technique videos, certainly at the start of their journey, so we can qualify their quality. We can be like, you're good, or actually the tempo's off, the technique is off. So it feels like they're getting a personal training session every single day, and you have to, if it's a personal trainer, if it's a friend, if it's you videoing yourself and actually having a look at it the next day and going, yeah, I could be a little bit deeper there, but you have to get your technique spot on. And what we're working with here with the technique is depth. Are you getting deep enough in the movement? Because when the muscles are at the most stretched position, that's when you're going to get the most strength. That's when you're going to get the most growth. That's when you're going to see the most results. So you have to have the depth. The tempo is really important, because the amount of time that the muscle stays under tension is really important depending on what phase of your fitness journey you're in as well. Are you going slower in the eccentric? Are you going as powerful as possible in the concentric? A common thing that we see is people just kind of picking up really heavy weights and just like bouncing them around, and their technique is all off. And then the third thing, like I said, is that proximity to failure. And that's exactly what we helped Alex with, who you saw, Alex Whiteleather. He was doing CrossFit, and it was way too intense for him. His form was off. He wasn't getting everything right. He was getting injured, which means he was just lacking the consistency. But as soon as he started getting the intensity right with everything, and then the quality of his lift started to change, that's when the results really started to fly with him. Science up your splits. Gone are the days that we now do bro splits, and this is really talking about how we optimize muscle protein synthesis. And I want to talk about a few great training splits that you can do as an actor that's going to take your body to the moon without you feeling burnt out. And also, so this is why the bro split no longer works. Muscle protein synthesis, think about you going into the gym and you working out and you flick on a muscle growth switch and it lasts for 48 hours. So if you go and do chest on a Monday, 48 hours later, you're recovered and you're ready to go again. But if you've moved on, if you've done back, then you've done legs, then you've done shoulders, then you've done arms, and you wait until next Monday to come back to chest, there's so much time that you could have been working on your chest again. And that's where optimizing the muscle protein synthesis, that 48-hour window, is super important. So some of the great splits that you can do, if you're looking to work out 3 days a week, I would recommend full body, doing around 40 to 50 minutes of full body 3 times a week. If you could do 4 sessions, I recommend 2 upper and 2 lower splits. And then if you can do 4 and you don't like the upper lower split, you could do push, pull, legs, and then full body. And this is the biggest mistake I see, is intermediate to advanced athletes just doing push, pull, legs. But once you've done push, you're not coming back to push until that Monday, if you're doing it on Monday. So knowing how to optimize your muscle protein synthesis, that muscle growth window, is super, super important as an actor looking to see results. The next thing, yeah, we've talked about the muscle protein window, all of that sort of stuff. And I used to do bro splits and I saw some results, but there was a window and I almost didn't believe the whole full body hype until I did it myself and then tried the upper lower split, and then yeah, everything changed. The next thing is you've got to plan your success. And I don't mean this in a kind of woo-woo pseudoscience way, but you need to be able to know exactly what is happening and what phase of your journey you're in. When you plan your success, you're creating consistency. Consistency is probably the biggest thing that most people need. And if you're not planning for that success, you are just going to miss out on that consistency. So a few things that you can be mindful of. What days in the week are you training? And yes, everything has to be flexible. If you get an audition, if you're feeling tired, you can move it over. But I would put in your calendar what days you are training. I know Monday is upper body day, Tuesday is lower body day, Thursday is upper body 2, Friday is lower body 2, and then I have Wednesday, I have Saturday, and I have Sunday to kind of live my life or to move things if I need to. The second thing is meal prep. When are you prepping your food? When are you getting your online shop? The more organized you can be at the start, and that then filters into your life, the more it can then become a habit. And I say it takes 12 weeks to change a body, but it takes 12 months to change an identity. And it takes 12 months of doing this over and over again for it to really sink in, become a lifestyle, become a habit, and become part of who you are. And if you're not doing it for the 12 months, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but if you do 12 weeks and then stop because you think, oh, amazing, my body's changed, the person who you were before the 12 weeks, it hasn't had chance to change. Your identity hasn't slotted in to the new thing. It's like if you're doing a show, like for the first couple of months, you're still a little bit rusty. You might be getting the show up and running, but you're not really in that character until, okay, you get that sweet spot where it clicks, and maybe 3 months down the line, you're like, oh yeah, I understand what this character means. Um, so, meal prepping, planning everything is really important. Days off, when are you having a day off and how are you utilizing those days off? When I was a touring actor, I would be going to theme parks, I'd be running around, I'd be going to see my mates, and I wasn't utilizing my days off properly. So now I was starting the show again, I was starting my whole training week really, really burnt out. It's not about giving up your life, it's just about being mindful, making sure that you have at least one day off a week where you are not doing anything. So your central nervous system, your whole body, your brain can properly recover. The next thing here is, again, I don't want to become a woo-woo wizard, but it's the deeper meaning. It's the why. Why do you actually want to get in shape? When people come on and we do an onboarding call with our performers, we say to them, what's the why? What's the deeper reason? Because muscle growth is muscle growth, fat loss is fat loss, like health is just health. Until we give it the obvious meaning. Is it so you can book more jobs? Is it so you can be there for your family? Is it so you can like be your most optimal self? Give it a reason, because there's going to be times in your fitness journey where you're just like, I can't be bothered. You're gonna have those low months. It's just been winter here in England, and it's been really hard to get the steps in. It's been really hard to get out and go for the gym. But I had to connect to my deeper why, and I won't tell you that. I won't go that far. But if you know your mission, if you know your reason, I think Tony Robbins says that it should make your balls tingle. If you're that clear on it, you won't need motivation. And I always say trade motivation for inspiration, and you can never go wrong. Then the fifth thing is communicate with friends and family. You can say, I'm on this fitness journey. This really means something to me. So I'd really like your help, or I'm not drinking at the moment, or I can't go out, or sorry, I'm going to go to the gym now. I'm doing this really boring fitness thing. So communicate with friends and family so they can become part of your world, part of your life, and actually they're a lot of the reason why you're gonna do this for a long time. If you're with a partner, if you're with friends who are like, oh, why are you working out? Why are you eating that healthy salad? It's gonna be very, very hard to stick to it unless you let them go or they come onto your side. And again, we've known a lot of people either split up from their partners or their friends and family have then joined the program because like, I've seen what a transformation you've had. So it's really important that you get your friends and family on board as well. There's a quote, I can't think of it. It's like, if you fail to plan, you fail to prepare. Let me know the quote because I'm absolutely butchering it. But I knew there's a quote somewhere along that. We had a lady called Alyssa who came on. She was a high performer. She worked loads. She'd always struggled to build what she said a fitness model body. And for her, it was about the communication with her friends and family, organizing her food, organizing the training because she was so tight for time. She also wanted to build a family as well. So I've seen it firsthand of how someone can change when they really get this right. And like I said at the start, you really need to be green in all of these areas if you want to see rapid results in your training. And then you're really winning when you're consistent, it's part of your lifestyle, it's become a habit, and then you automate the whole process. There's like parts of the Powerful Performance program, and the last phase is that automated phase when you don't need to think about going to the gym, you don't need to think about what you eat. It's just part of who you are, and you're reaping those rewards. So your action step: put a plan in place so you can be consistent in all of those 5 areas, and you can get to green in all of those 5 areas. And I promise you, we're just dealing with science. Your body is going to dramatically change if you get your nutrition right. And maybe I'll talk about nutrition again next week. And if you're struggling with training and you want my ripped and ready 4-day training program, message me on Instagram at Tom Senior Fitness with the words hero mode, and I'll just send you over my 4-day training split. And it's exactly the one I used when I was getting in shape to play Gaston in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, which was pretty cool. But it gives you that 3 days off training, but those 4 kind of intense days to do the job. And you'll probably see a little bit of what I'm talking about with the splits, the tempo, the types of exercises, the calendar of when you're training, all that sort of stuff. So DM me hero mode on Instagram at Tom Senior Fitness, and I will send it over. Thank you for listening to the Power Perform program, the first one on video, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.